Right, welcome lads to the free Commando private server. What we're going to go over now is your kind of Commando training course that every applicant 29045 goes through before getting their green lid and becoming the rank of Marine or Gunner or whatever they're going to be. So we'll just jump straight in. Chapter 1 of the document is our kind of grouping system, and we use something called a section to group ourselves together. A section comprises of 8 members, which splits down into 2 fire teams of 4. 3 sections will then group together to form something that we call a troop, which for the infantry would be a platoon, but because we're representing the Royal Marines, it's a troop. So in the troop you've got 3 sections of 8, and then you have a headquarters element which consists of a troop commander and a troop sergeant, as well as troop medic and troop signaller. Any questions on that so far?
Nope.
Nope, excellent. Right, roles within the section that we currently have. Well, yeah, they're split into 2 fire teams, and along the whole section, within those 2 fire teams, we have a certain number of roles. So, the leadership roles within the section, that's obviously the 2 fire team commanders. First fire team Charlie is commanded by the section commander, who will be the rank of corporal, and then the second fire team, called Delta Fire Team, will be commanded by the 2IC, second in command, and he'll be a lance corporal. Other roles within the section are we have a GPMG gunner, 2 LMG gunners, a point man who will also carry a shotgun as well as his normal weapon. We have a section medic. We also have a sharpshooter, and I think that's about it.
3 brick medics as well.
Yeah, we're not covering that at the moment. We'll come on to that later.
Right.
Yeah, so the medics, the commanders, the gunners, and that's pretty much everything. Basically, anyone who's just got a basic rifle will usually carry an 80 or LASM tube, as I have got on my back right now. Because the way Armour 3 works, it's just better than Armour 2 in that respect. Any questions on the kind of makeup of the section before we move on to formations?
No, I'm
What we have at the moment is the first formation that we usually use when we're going along linear features, or if we're just crossing general ground, and we call this a single file, so it's basically one man after the other. Right, this next formation we call an extended line, which is basically a big line moving towards the enemy. Or wherever it may be. Usually it will be in the general direction of the enemy. Obviously this is pretty much completely the opposite of single file, so you've got good protection to your front and rear, not so good to your flanks.
Fuck with. You guys move into an arrowhead. Oh, okay, no.
Sorry, Red.
Sorting themselves out. Scroll down. Right then, lads. This next formation we call an arrowhead. It's basically a big V shape, with 1 fire team on either side of the point man. Next formation we call a staggered file or a staggered line.
You guys get into a staggered file, please.
Which I probably should have covered earlier, because they're all in the right place, but oh well.
I need ammo!
So if you imagine there's like a road going down between the middle of these guys, you'd have first man on the right in this case, next one on the left, next one on the right, next one on the left. But you still maintain a spacing.
The next formation we're going to do is a half attack. I have Charlie on my left and Delta forming a single file behind me, please.
I don't actually know which fire team I was in.
Charlie. Jax, what am I in, mate? Stu is Delta. Which is where you want me? Straight line behind me. Roger, last man.
Right, what they've got here...
Speak on your radio, Michael.
On the right.
I can hear it. Gilbert, do you want to come over here, dude?
It's quiet on mine. I'm getting desync as well.
It's the all-round defence.
Guys, can we do an all-round defence on Jax?
Where's
what this
Jax?
basically is
that
a
Jax?
circle around the section commander, and this is the formation we'll take if we're going to stop for 5 minutes or more, or if we need to halt for whatever reason for a bit longer than 5 minutes, really. So we occasionally use this formation for briefings, just so everyone's quite close and they can all listen in, or if we're, well, we might do it in other times. But the main way we use this is when we just halt. So if the section was patrolling along in a single file, and you got the order to halt or stop, then you would take this position but maintain your spacing. So you'd still be 5 to 10 meters apart. You'd just be facing out left and right, rear, etc. So we got an all-round defense without needing to change our formation type thing. Put down some rapid fire for me, please. So very quick, 2 seconds.
That's good.
Okay, so what Stu's doing now for us, if you just hold it there, Stu, was he was putting out the first rate of fire that we use, called rapid fire, which we do as 1 round fired every 2 seconds. The second rate of fire that we have is called deliberate, which is 1 round every 6 seconds, which Stu's now going to demonstrate. So the final rate of fire that we have is called watch and shoot, which is basically look for the enemy, and when you see him, you fire at him, then you stop firing when you can't see him. Very simple. It's worth mentioning that deliberate and rapid, even if you can't see the enemy, then you should still fire because it has a suppressing effect on the enemy. We're going to call that our centre of axis, okay? So our axis of arcs is basically splitting down the ground in 90 degrees left and right of that centre, which at the moment is the flagpole. So, and we give these kind of sectors certain names. So if you'll track halfway between 45 degrees and 0 degrees right of that flagpole, we call that slightly right of centre. If you then go the full 45 degrees, we call that quarter right of the centre. Then if you go between 45 and 90, we'll call that 3/4 right or left. And then if you go the full 90 degrees, we call that full right or full left. And this is used in target indication, which we're going to cover up in half a second. An individual Marine, because of the nature of kind of we come here twice a week to play, we don't expect you to kind of remember this format. It's more for the NCOs, etc. But it's just kind of telling you what information you'll get when you're being ordered to fire. Enemy infantry, something like that. Your range, if we were working off that flagpole again, would probably be about 100 meters. Your indication will be centre of axis at the bottom of the flagpole, and then the type of fire would probably be rapid fire from here. And when you hear the command fire, that's when you fire. So a kind of off the fly one for this flagpole will be something along the lines of 2 enemy infantry, 100 meters, centre of axis, at the bottom of the flagpole, rapid fire, and that's when everyone will start shooting.
Just do single pairs fire manoeuvre, so whenever you're ready, mate, get up and go.
Okay. Oh, he's not firing. Sick. Oh well. Right. Basically,
Shoot, yeah.
what they're doing at the moment is they're covering each other whilst they move. So no one ever is moving without cover.
Go on, Red.
So if you see Stu's covering Red while he moves, Red will get down. He'll call out that he's to Stu, and Stu will then run up to his position and get down. No, I haven't. I've just been hanging about with people that have.
Yeah.
A few holes here and there.
Contact.
User.
No, that's it.
Bound.
Right, who's starting? Jax, which way are we going? Backwards.
Moving red. Let's go. Last man down.
Move.
Let's go red.
And oh fucking hell. So you can see it's a little bit sketchy there, but that's because Jax hasn't had any experience yet of leading anyone. Oh well. We'll demonstrate that again in a sec a bit more effectively. So the next technique we're going to cover is peeling, which is basically doing this left and right. But if you imagine like a tank track going round and round, that's what it should look like, as we'll now demonstrate. Right, can you guys come over here with me?
You don't be feeling.
Come on to the left.
Section, start wheeling.
Parry your last man.
Remember to call out passing.
Last man, pass in.
Last man passing.
Passing.
Out of ammo. Passing.
Last man, pass in.
Right, and hold it.
Drills. So it has 6 distinct phases, which are all very important and mustn't be missed out. So the first phase is preparation, and believe it or not, the first part of this starts outside of game. So what you'll get on the forum, if you keep checking the one troop then one section area, is an attendance thread posted by myself, and basically you've got to write here attending or not attending, just so we can plan ahead for the mission, know how many guys are going to be there, that sort of thing. Once you've done that, obviously come on about 7:15 or 7 o'clock, log into the server, get your slot. 7:30 we start up, and when we get in we get our VAS slots, being very careful to drop your radio before we start. Well, drop your radio, get your VAS, pick it up again.
I'm out.
And then your Brick Commander or your Section 2 IC will go around, check everyone's weapon sight, so it's 300, check all your ammo, grenades and any other equipment is properly distributed and the correct amount is present, and then you will carry out your functional checks on the radios. So pretty much Paul Berger and myself will say, can you hear me? You guys say yes. There's no VP on the short range radios, it's just clear speech. After this then will come the section commander's orders, so basically telling you guys what's going on tonight. He'll tell you what any other groups are doing, such as the 473 lads or the flight lads.
Contact, man!
And then the troop commander or troop sergeant can come round and probably just do a final check with the commanders and make sure everything's good to go. The final part of preparation is repeated every 400 to 500 meters, which is pretty much giving any anticipatory orders, and also making sure the axis is still relevant. If it's not, getting a new one type thing. Reaction to effective enemy fire, which is what we pretty much just covered there, which we'll cover again in the big exercise at the end. But basically when we take effective enemy fire, so we've got rounds pinging in and around our feet, we turn to face general direction of the enemy, fire 2 rounds, get down, return appropriate fire, then we'll either start peeling or bounding to cover, and that's where the next drill will start, which is called observation. Guys, can we stop spinning about, because it's just been recorded, remember?
Stop fucking around.
Okay, so section battle drill 3 is the observation phase. So what the first thing you'll hear is an order to stop firing, unless it's very obvious where the enemy are. And what you should do then is aim down your sights and look for the enemy. If we can't see the enemy within 30 seconds, the section commander will order someone to fire into the likely enemy position, with the aim of provoking a response, either that by movement or them returning fire back at us. If still we cannot get any reaction from the enemy, we'll get one of the fire teams or a pair or something to move a little bit and hopefully attract some fire or attract some enemy movement or something along those lines. That's pretty much just finding out exactly where the enemy are. Any questions on that one before we move on to number 4?
No.
Nope, wicked. Right, section battle drill 4 is the suppression. At this stage, what I'll do is, as section commander, is I'll hand over control of the battle to my 2IC. And what they'll then do is give a fire control order for accurately suppressing or killing the enemy from range. But the reason I hand over control of the battle to him is so I can get a hasty attack plan sorted in my own mind, send that info up to the troop commander, and call in any support that we need, either from the FSD or the troop sergeant or whoever. Once that's all squared away, we'll move on to the next drill. So at this stage for you guys, it's pretty much you'll be given a fire control order, and then you put out that fire into where the enemy are. So the enemy is being suppressed, and hopefully you won't be able to move anywhere, unless he's very ballsy. Okay, so section battle drill 5 is the actual attack itself. We're just going to base this on a section attack rather than a troop attack. So the attack brief that you'll be given will consist of the following information: a mission, which will usually be something along the lines of destroy enemy position grid 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The concept of operations, which 9 times out of 10 for us will be a section left or right flanking manoeuvre, breaking down to pairs fire manoeuvre, which I'll mark on the map in a sec so you'll know what it looks like. You'll be given fire team tasks, so it's usually be Delta suppress, Charlie will clear, because Delta's got the LMG and the medic. It's not the LMG, the GPMG and the medic. And then I'll quickly ask if anyone's got any questions, and then we'll just go. If we need to move the section anywhere, we never move without cover, so we usually be bounding or peeling if we've got to move a large distance as a whole section together rather than one fire team covering and one moving. So I'm just going to mark down on the map quickly what this looks like. So if you'll just bring up your maps, I'll mark it down at a random place. So if you imagine that this is us and this is the enemy, can you all see them markers? Yep.
Yeah.
Excellent. Right, so we're now suppressing the enemy and just given the attack plan, and the attack plan is going to be a left flanking manoeuvre breaking down into a pairs fire manoeuvre. So what this will look like is Charlie fire team will follow a route something along the lines of this. And then when they get to that location, they'll split into pairs, and then they'll start bounding towards the enemy. And then they'll throw frags, clear through, and that will be that.
Out of ammo.
During this time, obviously Delta will remain in the suppressive position, and Delta, upon us getting closer to the enemy position, we're going to give the order for Delta to shift fire to the right. So Delta will probably start firing about here, to prevent anyone from fleeing and also to prevent us being shot by our own boys. So, for the sake of argument, we've now cleared through the enemy position with no casualties. So we can either take up that position or move off it slightly. Probably moving off it is slightly better, just in case they have artillery or whatever. So if you imagine we're now here, what Delta is going to do is follow exactly the same route that Charlie just cleared. So they'll follow this route. Through to the enemy position. Oh, I've lost it now. Where's it gone? There it is. And then we'll all get back together again on this position here. Any questions on that one? Nope, good. Right. During the attack, if we do sustain any casualties, then we don't treat them on the spot immediately. What we do is we resume the attack, destroy the enemy position, and then we look after the casualties, which is part of section battle drill 6, which is the regroup. If there's another enemy position close by to this one, instead of stopping everything and going through a regroup, we maintain the momentum of our attack. So if there's another enemy position about here, we don't stop there. We'll carry on, do another attack maneuver on them, destroy them, and then do the same sort of assessment again and again and again until we've got no more enemies to fight or the troop commander's mission has been achieved. So the final section of battle drill is the regroup. As riflemen, during the regroup, what will happen is you'll be given an arc to cover in an all-round defence, and this is usually be done by myself. Then your Brit commander or fireteam commander will then go round and count up how many magazines you have. So just before, when you're in your arc, been given your arcs and tasks, etc. Just count up how many magazines, frags, smoke you've got, and be ready to tell your fireteam commander that amount, so we can send it back to the troop sergeant. And if you've got you're running low on ammo, you can get some more given to you, etc.
Yeah.
During the regroup, you also be that's when you treat the casualties. So as Delta is moving back up to your position, they'll more than likely pick up the casualties if they haven't already been picked up by the reserve or whatever, and they'll bring them into the regroup location, get them treated up. So what we'll do now then is I'll sort out your forum permissions, etc. Make and show you around the forum what things you need to pay close attention to, and then that'll be the end of recruit training. Rightio, I'm just going to disconnect from the game so I can go on the forum without it all lagging up for
Your channel. User joined your channel.